Sweden Mike. How you doing, brother?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
USO Sweden in the house.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I know you made the trip, for a very sad, unfortunate reason, but I think it's a good time to look at the positive and remember people.
Yeah, of course.
Kia passed away, rest in peace. And Sunday was his funeral, and this is recording a couple of days after that. So, I have Mike here, and we're gonna try to share some stories, and we're gonna talk a little bit about lowriding and what it means to Mike, and what it's like riding with USO in Sweden. And I'd love to jump into it, man. I want to know what your first experience was like, in lowriding. Do you remember what
in lowriding?
Maybe seen a lowrider for the first time
from movies, MTV, and Boys in the Hood, stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's where it all started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that something that was very popular to watch in Sweden?
No.
And how did you come across that kind of stuff?
I was always into hip hop.
Okay.
I'm a skateboarder, and in the early '90s, hip hop was the thing. Baggy jeans and skateboarding and hip hop, and when you look at the MTV, that's lowriders, and
you see Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg videos.
Yeah. I wasn't a car guy at that time, but when you see a lowrider, something happens to you. So damn, that's nice. But
that's a good way to put it, man. When I think that's a important thing when young people see a lowrider for the first time. You remember that.
Oh yeah,
a lot of people remember that. I remember it. So you were watching, sitting there watching MTV, watching Snoop Dogg cruise up in the 64, rag, and it kind of sparked your interest a little.
No, not really. I didn't. Well, it was cool, but not for me. I was a skateboarder, and I wasn't interested in cars until I became 17, 18.
Were you still skating at that time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but my brother's a car guy. He's always been, but he was into hot rods and customs and stuff like that. So when he got his car, that's when I became addicted to cars. That's a nice car. He had a Oldsmobile 1956. He chopped the roof, lowered it, and
straight custom.
Yeah, straight custom. And he and his friends had a club called Jokers.
Okay.
And that's when it started to me. So I got myself a 41 Chevy, chopped the roof, put airbag suspension in the rear, so it laid on the frame. And
you started in the customs.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I followed my brother, and because we didn't have no lowrider scene, Even if I see someone, from the movies or whatever, that's a cool car, but that was so far away from me, So
in Sweden, you never seen a lowrider in person.
I've seen some at some
at that time
at some shows. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but never, on the streets or.
So you seen, maybe you were at a hot rod show or a custom show, and you seen maybe a lowrider there, possibly.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
So you got into the custom scene, and you started doing that.
Yeah, and then I met a guy who actually had a lowrider and became a friend of him, and looked at his car. He had a 96 big body, and that's when I got hooked. We sat drinking, we sat in his car. He flipped the switch, and I was hooked.
How old were you?
I was 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you, I know I checked out some of your cars. You ended up having a big body, right? At some point.
Yeah, that's the same one.
Oh, cool!
I bought it from him.
Oh, that's sick. That's what I want. I think my next car is probably going to be a big body. I'm a big fan of Cadillacs and the Lincolns.
Me too.
So, how long did you do the custom thing before you ended up switching over to the lowrider thing?
That's from I was 17 to I was 24.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I sold the car, checked out what I wanted to, and ended up with a 64.
The red 64?
The red 64.
Yeah.
I actually bought it from Boyd Coddington.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah. So it's a stock car. He bought it from a old girl that, had it, just one owner car. So it's a nice car.
Yeah. That car, did it have a name? Did you name that car?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. I only drove it one summer.
Mm-hmm. And then what? You ended up getting the black caddy?
Yeah. Well, actually, I got the car from Los Angeles in April or something, and I tore it down, put the engine out, and started reinforcing the frame. I had to wait. I ordered the hydraulics 7 months before. It took me 7 months to get it because there was just one guy I could buy it from in Sweden, and it took me 7 months. I mean,
is that one of the hardest parts of lowriding in Sweden?
It was, yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
Not anymore.
No, not anymore. Now I'm the
You're the guy.
Yeah, I'm the guy right now, so it's
Yeah.
easier. But yeah, at the time, yeah, you had to wait, and something was missing, and you were standing there, oh, I need an engine, and just to ship an engine from here, that's super expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just the freight and the
Oh yeah,
transport alone
everything is so heavy.
Right.
So anyway, I finished the car that summer and drove it the whole time. Me and my friend Nick went to Vegas in October, and I thought my car was, it was looking good. I painted the frame, and it's like solid black, and it's a nice car, low mileage car, and I see all this, chrome on the carriage and everything. So the first thing I did when I got back home, I just tore the car apart. Oh, I'm going to chrome this, I'm going to chrome that, and and finally the money runs out. So
Right.
So that's when I bought the big body instead, because he had also torn that one apart. So I got really cheap. So
okay.
Instead of putting my things into the chromer, I bought the car. I got it real cheap because the engine was out and it was like half done. So
he had torn it apart?
Yeah. He was reinforcing the frame, and
he was already going to work on it.
Oh yeah, because when he had it, it was just stock. He just had a 2-pump setup in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tore it apart also, when he got back home. And then it was just sitting, and, he just wanted to get rid of it. So I bought it from him and finished it, and,
What, when you got the red 64, how soon after that did you start thinking about getting into a club, or were you already?
As soon as I got the 64 done, I got my plaque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that was when you first met Kita?
Yeah, in 05.
In 05.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about, maybe, can you share a little bit of about what that was like and how that came about?
Well, to me, it was, it was kind of strange, with all the love and, hugs, and everyone treated me like, like I was their brother, and, you can come home to my place, and, I wasn't used to that. So to me, I felt like coming into the USO family, I came home,
And can you recall, some of your first experiences with Kita?